What if the greatest tragedy of Kong's past wasn't the death of his parents, but a devastating secret they were forced to keep? For most of his life, Kong carried the crushing weight of being the last of his kind, an alpha titan, a king without a people, and a lonely guardian of ghosts. But he wasn't the last. His journey was one of profound loneliness. By taking down the Scar King and Godzilla x Kong, the new empire, what ancient threat do you think could be hiding in the shadows? Something even worse than the Scar King? Drop your theories in the comments below, and while you're there, make sure you subscribe for more breakdowns of your favorite kaiju. Kong did more than just win a fight. He became a liberator. He carried the pain of his ancestors, the loneliness of being the last, and now, the responsibility of being a king to a people he's just beginning to know. While he's reclaimed his home and defeated a tyrant, the MonsterVerse is always expanding. With shows like Monarch, Legacy of Monsters set to explore more of the Hollow Earth and a sequel to Godzilla x Kong rumored for 2027, the stage is set for a brand new chapter. Kong has honored the memory of the fallen by forging a new future, but will that future be peaceful? Or will he be forced to confront the true, terrifying reason his kingdom fell in the first place? And if he does, will he be strong enough to stop history from repeating itself? He freed the enslaved apes and, for the first time, truly found a community. He finally broke the cycle of pain that had haunted his lineage for centuries. This victory gave him the one thing he always lacked: a family. With the young ape Zuko by his side, Kong's future is no longer about just surviving. It's about leading, marked by the crushing weight of survivor's guilt. On Skull Island, he wasn't just a king. What if he was just a symptom of a much older and more sinister threat? The Hollow Earth is a massive, unexplored world, and it's pretty unlikely that the Kongs and the Scar King S-Tribe were its only sentient residents. The true legacy of the Fallen might be a warning about what they were really fighting against. He was a prisoner of his own legacy. What if the source of the Scar King's power and cruelty wasn't his own ambition, but an outside influence? Imagine a parasitic titan, one that doesn't just destroy but corrupts, whispering promises of power to leaders like the Scar King and feeding on the chaos of civil war. An enemy like that would be a far greater danger, something Kong can't just punch into submission. It would be a battle for the very soul of his newly freed people. This ancient evil could be the real reason the Kang species fell into internal war in the first place, the hidden hand that orchestrated their downfall from the shadows. Kong's next fight might not be a physical one, but a battle to stop his own kind from tearing themselves apart all over again. The sole guardian of a home that was also a tomb? So when he journeyed into the Hollow Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong, it was more than a search for a new home, it was a pilgrimage. And he didn't just find his species' ancestral throne room. He discovered the heartbreaking truth of their downfall, with his species finally found. A new threat is rising from the darkest corners of the Hollow Earth. It's forcing him to confront the terrifying legacy his ancestors left behind, legacy that could trigger a second extinction. To really get a handle on Kong's story, you have to look past the skull-faced monsters and into the ancient history of his species. The Kongs weren't just giant apes. An ancient, brutal war with the skull-crawlers, those monstrous herbivores from beneath the earth, kicked off a long, painful decline. This conflict pushed the Kongs to the brink in a heartbreaking saga of loss that decimated their numbers. This history of oppression all led to the rise of the Scar King, a tyrannical ape who twisted what was left of their civilization, enslaving his own kind and shattering their spirit. This is why Kong was born into total isolation. The last son of a fallen kingdom, left alone to guard the bones of his family. He was, in every sense, a living relic. They were a full-blown civilization. Those crumbling temples and colossal ruins scattered across Skull Island and deep within the Hollow Earth. They're the last symbols of a lost era of incredible power. For generations, they were builders, warriors, and protectors. Most famously, shielding the Iwai tribe from the island's many horrors. But their kingdom was always living on a knife's edge. That history of loss has defined Kong's entire life. The ancestral axe he found wasn't just a weapon. It was a symbol of his birthright, a connection to the family he never knew. Kong has gone from survivor to liberator. But let's be real, the MonsterVerse rarely lets its heroes catch a break. This brings us to a terrifying question. What if the Scar King wasn't the ultimate evil? Let's explore a chilling theory. Kong's story has always been about the legacy of the fallen.